Well, thank you guys for coming to Salon number 4 of Renaissance San Francisco. Happy that you guys all braved the traffic of the Giants-Dodgers game and everything else that's going on here in our fine city. And we're very pleased, aside from having Renaissance SF really building up in its numbers on our Facebook page, and thanks to what Suzanne Connolly and Sheridan Tatsuno and Sandy Rosenberg and Dan Galen and Curran Engel and everybody got started on Facebook. And we keep on bringing in people to tell us more about content collaboration and hopefully how we can all work together, because we all believe that in Northern California that there are a lot of good things on the horizon. And you know, our inflection point and how we're growing dovetails nicely with what is happening with the San Francisco Film Commission. So we're fortunate to have Susannah Robbins, who took over the post in September of 2010. And her background, starting back in New York, kind of being in the advertising world, she was an assistant producer at Saatchi & Saatchi DFS Compton. And she also was an associate producer and researcher for documentaries on American Master Series. She's worked on Ray Charles, The Genius of Soul, and several other great projects. And that led her to being a location scout, a location manager for films. She's worked on projects like The Joy Luck Club, Patch Adams, Jack, Bicentennial Man. So maybe she can also share some stories with what she's learned working with people like Robin Williams, another Bay Area legend. And she knows a little bit about what it takes to be behind the camera and how to bring more people here for more projects. So I would like her to come up now and tell us a little bit about the state of the San Francisco Film Commission and what to expect moving forward. So Susannah Robbins.
So yeah, I started in September of last year as the new director of the Film Commission, and I just wanted to tell you, just starting out, just what we do with the Film Commission. For those of you that don't know, our main job is to, I have to go back and forth with my glasses, sorry. Our main job is to bring more production to the Bay Area. So we work to market the city to productions as a filming destination. And we basically are trying to create more jobs here, add to the local economy, and work with local filmmakers, in addition to Hollywood filmmakers or filmmakers from other parts of the country, getting them to produce more films in San Francisco. And you know, as far as filmmaking goes, one of the things that it does to help the economy here is that it helps increase tourism in San Francisco. So every time people see films that are shot here, it's just one more reason for them to come here. So one of the things we're doing now is trying to work more closely with the San Francisco Travel Association, which is the new name for the Convention and Visitors Bureau, to try to figure out how we can join efforts to have more filming in San Francisco and also just get San Francisco out there as a locale in films. On a day-to-day basis, we issue permits to productions that are in town. So they'll call us when they want to shoot here, and we need to go over where they're going to park and if they have insurance. And we work with the local police department and the traffic departments and Muni and the Port of San Francisco, all these different agencies, to make sure that all the different departments are working together to make it flow for productions. And then also we need to work with the productions to make sure that they're respectful to the neighborhoods. One of the things that we've been doing is to make sure that productions notify neighborhoods well in advance of shooting, and you know, if they're taking all their parking, provide alternate parking for them, and just be respectful. And if they're going to be shooting past the hours of 10 o'clock at night, that you can shoot between 7 in the morning and 10 at night, we make them do signature surveys so that they get the people who are affected in that area to sign off and say, yeah, it's okay for you to be here that late. And if they don't get 90% on their SIG surveys, they don't get to film late at night. So we're really trying to be more responsible to the local community so that we are being able to welcome more films here. Funding-wise, our budget that we work with is fairly small. We get $400,000 a year from grants for the arts, and that's based on the hotel tax that they collect. And then the rest of it is what we collect in permit fees. So this year, we actually have had a good year. We collected $158,500 in permit fees, which was $25,000 more than last year. So production is improving in San Francisco. The numbers are going up. We actually, I just did my annual report, so I have all these wonderful numbers to share with you. We increased filming 26% in this past fiscal year. So we had 953 shooting days compared to 753 last fiscal year. So that's really a great increase. And in that, we issued 79 more permits. But the interesting thing is that so when we are doing the permits, we have the permit number, the shooting day number, their permit fee number, and then we have an estimated budget number, which we track. And of course, it's not totally exact because they don't really want to share that information with us down to the last decimal, but an estimated number. And in this year, our estimated total collected budgets for films was actually $24 million less than last year, even though our production days have gone up. And I think what's going on is this is kind of happening across the country, I think, but productions are working with tighter budgets. And so it's not just in San Francisco where they're seeing this. And a lot of it is, for one, attributed to the economy, but also with the new distribution methods of films, it's really affecting the profitability of films, so they're then making their production budget smaller. So with video on demand and live streaming of films, the productions aren't making as much money on DVD sales. And so that's really affecting their revenue that they relied on for so long. And so now, as a result, budgets are getting smaller and smaller so that they can still make profits. And so because of this, what we're finding is that productions are really going to wherever they can find the best financial incentives. I can't tell you how many conferences and meetings I've been to where I've heard producers say, well, what's your incentive? What are you going to give us? I can go to Louisiana, I can go to New Mexico, I can go to New York, I can go to Vancouver. What are you going to give us? So we in San Francisco have developed some incentive programs along with the California tax incentive. So I'll tell you about that one first. That's a program that every June they take applications for their incentive program. They have $100 million annually to give out to productions. And 10 million of it is available to independent films each year. Definitely that much is carved out for independent productions. And then, so they get the applications on June 1st, and by June 2nd, all that money's gone. And this year, they awarded it to 30 productions. So what I've just done is I got a list of those 30 productions, and I sent a letter to every one of them saying, did you know that you can combine that tax incentive with our tax incentive, or not tax incentive, our rebate, if you shoot in San Francisco? So it's just an effort to, market our rebate program and try to get some of those productions to think about shooting here. But what we have to offer is a Scene in San Francisco rebate program. And what that is a rebate of up to $600,000 per film or per television episode. And in order to qualify for it, if their budget is over $3 million, they need to shoot 65% of their production in San Francisco. And if it's under $3 million, they need to shoot 55% in order to qualify. But then if they do, they can get up to $600,000 back in anything that they've paid to the city of San Francisco. So permit fees, up to 4 police officers per day, the San Francisco payroll tax, street closure fees, working with anything that the fire department might have to do with them, or Muni. And then another really good thing about it is that if they use our stage space that we have, or production office space in a city-owned building, then that's rebatable as well. So their rent can be free. And the most recent film that just took advantage of that was the Hemingway production that we just had in town. Philip Kaufman just completed shooting an HBO film called Hemingway and Gellhorn, and they got the California state tax incentive, and then they combined it with our rebate program. And they saved, just from our program, about, I think it was like $580,000 on their production. And it wasn't a really huge budget film, so it was a very significant amount for them. And a lot of that was in their stage rental, because that was pretty expensive. So we also have added other incentives to try to attract productions here. I knew that we weren't going to be getting any more money out of the city in order to do this, and so I was trying to find other ways to incentivize productions to come here. And in January, I created a program called the Vendor Discount Program, and that offers discounts to productions that are shooting in San Francisco from local businesses. And you don't have to do anything to qualify other than shoot here and get a permit from us, and then we ask you if you want to have vendor discount cards, which you show that you're eligible for these discounts. And it gives discounts at hotels, restaurants, entertainment venues, some dry cleaning services, and car rental agencies. And then we just this week rolled out a new part of it, which is a production services discount, and that includes a few post-production companies, production companies, and some audio post-production companies, and equipment rental companies. And in order for those companies to participate, they have to offer a minimum of 10% discount to the productions that are in town. But they all seem very interested in joining this program that I had created, because one of the things that they were telling me, at least for the post-production companies, is that even if a film is shot here or a commercial shot here, most of the post-production ends up going down to LA, and they want to find a way to keep it here. And I was like, well, this is good for both of us, because it lets us offer another incentive. It gives you hopefully more business, and it gives the production a discount. So we actually just rolled that out on Monday. We got some good press about it on Monday evening and this morning on KCBS. So I don't know, we're hoping to get more production services companies to participate. Right now we have 10, and we're definitely open to having more. So if you all know of any, you can tell them to go to our website and fill out an application for it. But in the whole vendor discount program, we have actually over 80 merchants participating. And we have 26 hotels and 13 restaurants, and it's doing pretty well. And for the hotels, they're offering 10 to 30% off their lowest quoted rate. So it's really helping productions cut their bottom line when they come here and shoot. Oh, and then we also just added also a discount with Virgin America. I was trying forever to get a hold of them, and finally, after a bazillion emails, got the right person, and he finally agreed to do this program with us. So we have a 5% discount to offer productions who are flying to San Francisco. And all they do is call us and say they're going to be shooting here, and then we can give them a discount code so that they can get that discount on their airfares. And while 5% doesn't sound like much, you know, I think really anything helps. And I think it also just helps to show that San Francisco's making an effort. We're not just expecting people to come here because we're a beautiful city. You know, we're working for it. So with our programs, I have been really spending almost all of my time since I started in September trying to get the word out. Because what I found when I started the job was that we had this great program that no one knew anything about. And when I first realized that, it was about a week before I started the job, and there was an article in the pink pages in the Chronicle, and they interviewed this director, and I can't think of her name now. It was a film with Drew Barrymore, and she's in a long-distance relationship with her boyfriend, and some of you might remember the name of the film. Anyway, it takes place in New York and San Francisco, and they filmed it all in New York, and they did some plate shots here. And they asked the director why she didn't shoot here, and she said, well, California doesn't have any incentives. And I thought, okay, this is really bad. We could have had some of this production here, but because they didn't know about our incentives, they didn't come. And the more investigating I did, the more I realized nobody really knew about it. So what I've been doing is going to a lot of trade shows in Los Angeles with our information, going to conferences, and then while I'm down there, I take extra days and I meet with production companies. I call them and say, hi, I'm the new director of the Film Commission and want to tell you about our rebate program. And I'm hoping that in this next year, there's more business because of the outreach that I've been doing. I also, I went to Sundance this past year, or this past January, and talked to a lot of independent filmmakers there who were also very surprised about our rebate program and seemed very interested in it. And just in June, I went down to a conference in LA called the AFCI Produced By Conference. And the Produced By Conference is a conference that the Producers Guild of America does every year. And this year they joined forces with the AFCI, which is a group of international film commissions, and had this huge conference at Disney Studios for a weekend in June. And it was incredible because there were hundreds and hundreds of producers there. I could never have met so many in one place at one time if I hadn't been there. It was great. And so what we did was we had a booth there with our promotional material, and my film coordinator stayed in the booth. We weren't getting a whole lot of traffic, so I said, all right, this is it, I'm going out. And I just took our cards and went around and started introducing myself to people, and it was really great. We got such good feedback about our program. And with every seminar that I went to, I went up to the people who were speaking in the seminar and said, you know, do you know about our rebate program? And they didn't. So we really got a lot of word out on that one conference. We've also just been trying to figure out where to take out more advertisements that are strategically placed. And right now we have the back of the LA 411 guide, which was a real coup because it's the whole back cover. And we got it for a great price because, I don't know why, but we just did. We got very lucky. And the creative handbook, and then I'm getting ready to place an ad in Variety, which is, it's really expensive and it eats up a good, you know, chunk of our advertising budget. But I figure, you know, everybody reads Variety, and the issue that we're going to place it in is the one where they deliver it to all the producers' homes on the weekend. So I figured there'll be a greater chance they might actually sit and read it and actually see our advertisement. So we're actually working with a new graphic designer to come up with a new ad that just kind of hits people over the head with the fact that we have a rebate program, just to get the word out even more. One of the really good things about getting out there and talking with producers one-on-one, I was lucky enough to meet these two producers. Actually, they heard about us through our vendor discount program, which was kind of a weird link. We we're working with the Four Seasons Hotel in San Francisco, which is part of our program. And the woman who's the manager there said, oh, we're giving a breakfast in LA for all these producers. Can I take some of your cards and about the rebate program and pass them out? And I was like, yeah, sure, that'd be great. And so she took them to her breakfast, and when she came back, she said, oh, everyone was really happy to learn about this program. And in fact, 2 of the producers are going to be in San Francisco this week and wanted to know if they can meet with you. Can I set that up? And so I met them at the Four Seasons Hotel, and they told me about 2 films that they had written for LA. But after learning about our rebate program, they were considering, whether or not they could film it here. And so since then, that was probably back in February, we met again when I was in LA in June, and we've been writing back and forth, and they've sent me 2 scripts, one which I now think I've convinced them to rewrite for San Francisco. We gave them a whole list of locations that they could use, and they seem open to the idea. And then they emailed me about 2 weeks ago and said, we have this TV series we're thinking about as well, and do you think that we would qualify for the rebate? And I was like, well, it looks like it. So, everything's up in the air. We don't know whether or not they'll actually come through, but at least there's a lot of interest, and if they get funded, if they get their talent, and we have the stage space for them at the right time, we could get some good productions coming here. So I'm pretty excited about that. What else? I guess, just telling you about what we've been having film here this year would be good. We've had some pretty big features in the past year. One of them, which is opening August 5th, it's called Caesar, Rise of the Apes, and it stars James Franco and John Lithgow. And I believe it's about how the whole Planet of the Apes came to be. Probably some of you have seen trailers for it. I think there's trailers out now in the theaters. We also had 2 films that revolve around Jack Kerouac. One is called Big Sur, with Josh Lucas, Kate Bosworth, and Henry Thomas. And they don't have a release date for that. I'm not even sure they have a distributor. And On the Road, starring Kirsten Stewart, Kirsten Dunst. And then, as I mentioned, we had Hemingway and Gellhorn here, which was with Clive Owens and Nicole Kidman. And it was directed by Phil Kaufman, who's a local director, which is really wonderful, and someone who wants to actually do more films here. And then we had Contagion, which is Steven Soderbergh's new film. They filmed here for about 5 days, and they had Jude Law in town with them, Matt Damon and Gwyneth Paltrow, though I don't think that she was in the San Francisco part of it. And that comes out September 9th, so that'll be fun to see. They filmed this big scene in front of City Hall where they had the Bill Graham Civic Center set up as I think it was a triage unit. And they had all of these actors dressed in camouflage, and they had tanks out there, and it was really intense looking. It was really fun to see, so it'll be fun to see it in the film. And then we just wrapped 3 films in the past 10 days. One is Cherry, which is a pretty low-budget film starring James Franco and Heather Graham. It's about a 18-year-old who moves to San Francisco, and she gets involved in the porn industry and gets involved with a crack-addicted lawyer. Should be interesting. And then Knife Fight, which is starring Rob Lowe. And they just wrapped last week. And a Judd Apatow film that filmed here for about 5 days with 3 units filming simultaneously. It was very intense. That's called 5-Year Engagement, and it stars Emily Blunt and Jason Segel, and it's going to open in April of next year. And then we've had a few television series that have been in town. None of them stay, unfortunately. They all seem to go to Vancouver. So we had Alcatraz, which is the new J.J. Abrams production that's going to air in September. And they did their pilot here, and then unfortunately they shot the rest in Vancouver, or they're shooting the rest in Vancouver, and they actually built Alcatraz, the interior, on a set in Vancouver. And I was trying to get them to film here, and I was telling them all about our rebate program, but they said it was still a lot less expensive for them to film in Vancouver. So that's kind of frustrating about that. We had a show called Top Gear, American Idol, Good Morning America did their Britney Spears release of her new album show here, which was pretty exciting. Clean House, and a new show that's just currently on called The 9 Lives of Chloe King, and a show called Precinct 17, which is a Sony Pictures TV show that's it was just a pilot. It hasn't been picked up yet, so I don't really know what's going to happen with that. But the nice thing is that some of these productions, like Hemingway and Gellhorn and Cherry and Knife Fight, all used like 90% local crew. And that's something that I love. I want our locals to get hired. I want them all to be employed. And so, you know, when we get that percentage of hires on a film, it's really good. So we also have had some interest from foreign production companies this past year. We had a feature film from southern India called 180 that filmed Amalfi, which is a Japanese television show that's going to be airing soon. And then a program called Rose Wedding from China. It's a really popular reality TV show where couples compete for winning a dream wedding in California. And they actually got married in the rotunda at City Hall by one of our supervisors. So does anyone have any questions now before I go on to other things? Because I'm happy to. Oh, well, yeah, I can tell them that now, or wait, or.
I mean, does some of you want to know about the film collective? Because I think Suzanne and Sharon have done a good job of forwarding something around, and it sounds like Scary Cow Productions might be doing a move into the States. So that kind of an email from Susannah to me to Suzanne. I mean, does anybody want to ask about the film collective particularly?
I can't hear you. Are there any short films?
Well, does it cover every short film, music videos, part of the rebate program?
You know, I'm so really sorry, but my hearing is horrible.
Short films and videos, does it cover the gamut, like projects that are going on?
For the film collective, or do you mean what the film commission's going for?
The rebate program.
Does the rebate program, does it apply to?
No, okay, so no, the rebate program, it's for feature films and for, it's for feature films right now. I'm actually working with one of the supervisors of the Board of Supervisors to extend it to documentaries and reality shows, because really we've been getting a lot of reality shows in San Francisco, and we actually have found that they're spending more and more money here, and so we actually do want to attract more. Initially, when they first started, they were also low budget, and they were really a hassle to work with because they were very disorganized, but it seems like they're getting their act together and they're spending more money, so we are trying to attract more. But also with documentaries, when I looked at it, I thought, well, why are they excluded? I mean, we're giving money to features, but not documentaries. And also, we've been approached by some very large budget documentaries I would love to land here. And so when I saw this, I thought, well, maybe we can get this to pass. So right now, we're having legislation written to go before the Board of Supervisors to try to expand the program. But it is not for shorts or music videos at this time. So let me tell you a little bit about our new project, because it's really cool. We just started this San Francisco Film Collective, and what it is the Film Commission is offering low-cost office space to independent filmmakers. We found this great space down in the Tenderloin. It's on Golden Gate at 134A Golden Gate.